let's just sew whatever. So I am picking out my fabrics at the moment. I have decided I'm going to use this printed waterproof canvas and this luxe vinyl. This is a color I have yet to release. My materials list is very clearly written out. We're going to need a scrap of clear vinyl. And I have some really fun TPUs. Perfect. That I think will be really fun to use with this fabric. So it's got like some blue glitters in there. A size 20 or similar metal snap, a magnetic snap can be used. So I will probably use like a size 10 magnetic snap, 10 millimeter? Yeah. Double-sided tape, coordinating thread, and one number 3 zipper, or 2.5 of number 3 zipper tape. So it takes number 3 zippers, which is exciting. I have a ton of number 3 zippers I never get to use. So I'm excited. And then the pattern pieces that are squares, the measurements are given on the pattern piece and on this little cut list. So I can just go ahead and cut out the pattern pieces needed. Let me measure that test square. That would be not a great thing to forget to do. All right, we are good. So you have probably already seen the video of this bag being sewn. It hasn't happened yet, obviously, but this pattern is from Purses by Holly. It is called the Architect Ladies Wallet, and I made it with my friend Barbie of Jeannie's Designs. She is so sweet. I hope that we had a lot of fun in our video and that you all enjoyed it. I remember seeing this pattern in a pattern chat, but I have not made it. So I'm excited to do that. I am barely going to read these instructions because I don't have the mental capacity to do so. So I'm excited for Barbie to show me how to make it. So for any of these pieces that are rectangles, I'm just cutting them away and putting them in a pile. Once upon a time, I would have wanted the rectangles for every single pattern piece, but as I have developed my skills and had to cut class kits, I'm less dependent on pattern pieces and more dependent on rulers and my rotary cutter just to make it that much faster. But Barbie cut out a lot of her pieces with the Brother Scan and Cut. So that's pretty cool. I have a Scan and Cut. I just need my friend Fran to come over and show me exactly how to use it. Oh, nope, I need that piece. Here we go. Square. So these pieces here need to be cut and taped, and that's an overlapping area. So that's pretty cool because then you don't have to cut out an extra little piece. It's already built in. And then you can use tape to put it together if you want. I am going to use tape, but you could use like a glue stick too, maybe. So this is where the pattern piece overlaps. All right, and now this is the back vinyl portion of our wallet. And this is kind of a raw edged pattern, so keep that in mind. I don't know why I taped it together before I finished cutting it out, but here we are. Now, I have not made this, like I said, but I'm sure there is a way you could make it using edge coat if you weren't a fan of the like faux binding method, like the self-binding method. But I'm excited to learn this pattern. So I've got the bulk of the pattern pieces out of the way, and now I can cut those little notched areas. It does look like the zipper box gets cut out of the pattern. Oh, I'm excited about those card slot pieces. Those look so fun. Yeah, this looks really cute. Not gonna lie, I printed out the instructions and I was like, wait a minute. The card slots or the pattern pieces are a separate file. I'll just print over it and kind of read over it. It's fine. Ugh, chaotic here today. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start with the clear vinyl. And as usual, you can laminate your cut chart. Mark off as you go. It's definitely something I like to do. The wallet back is vinyl. Okay. So it looks like an 8 by 8.5 ruler will be plenty big. So I'll go ahead and grab that really quick. So there is our little ID window. Sorry, I was like, what will it look like through? If you want to punch out a shape, you can. I might try to do a little heart. It's just so fun. And then this is where you will push your ID through, basically. It's not the greatest, but it'll do. I might trim down opening rounded out just a little bit more. Maybe not. I think it's fine. Might look weird if I do anything else with it. I'm gonna get a little bin to put all of my pieces in. Okay, as you can see, I have a lot of other stuff in progress here. I'm working on cutting out class kits for So Magical Expo. We're doing a new pattern of mine. I'm super excited. Okay, so I'm checking to make sure there's no flawed spots on my vinyl before I flip this over. And I'm gonna cut it out from the back side. I'm gonna clip it into place. And you can either trace around it and then cut, or you could use a ruler to lay over top of your pattern and kind of cut it out and get some cleaner edges, which isn't something I usually do, but I just feel like this pattern, you really want nice clean edges. And that is one thing I love about the Luxe backed vinyls is it has this like microfiber feeling grippiness to it. So your paper won't really shift around on you. Okay. And now I'm using a pen just to trace out those little areas that we need to cut away. So the little box is 1.25 inches in from the edges and 4.75 from the top. And this is 7 inches? No, 6.5 by half. And now when I cut this, I want to make sure that I'm cutting away the pen completely because I traced right up against that edge the pattern piece. So like right here, cutting away the pen completely, but you don't want to cut too far past your pen line. So this is our exterior. There's also the snap placement, which is centered and 3 inches up. Which, I don't know if I should be sharing that, so I apologize. So as I'm tracing this line, I'm not cutting too terribly far to the lines, hopefully. Oof, right on them. Perfect. And being able to cut like this for these boxes really only comes with cutting tons of overlays. Okay. It's pretty good. All right. So that is all that I need for the vinyl. So I'll go ahead and put this away. And all right, I did pretty darn good. Clip that together so that I know tomorrow what's what. So out of my non-fraying fabric exterior, cut pattern piece A. Now there's lining fabric and then waterproof canvas for the interior. I'm guessing the lining fabric would most likely be a cotton woven fabric that isn't too thick. But I think we'll be fine using waterproof canvas for it because the waterproof canvas I'm using is not quite as thick as FWD fabric. So I guess you would just want to be mindful of that. So our lining fabric, so working on the zipper pocket lining. There is one. And two. And now pattern piece B. And now it calls for SF101 or similar, but I really don't think we're gonna need it with the waterproof canvas. But I can understand it if you're using a cotton fabric. And then there's the snap placement. That looks like it's 1/2 inch, 5/8 down. I will very likely use a little scrap of self-adhesive interfacing from Fabric Therapy for those portions. So that is that. And now we're on to the rest of the pieces. So we've got our ID holder here. Got this perfect little chunk of fabric here. All right, so it's so as you're cutting this, just make sure you go as slow as possible to make it one long fluid line. And now I know that this is where my ID window is gonna go. Oh, it's so cute. So I'm just going to clip these together now. My machine might not like how thin these layers are, but I should be able to get it no problem. We'll see tomorrow if it instructs to add double-sided tape, but it probably will. Hard to see. Never mind. That was pointless. Cool, cool. Nice. So I got my ID holder. Okay, so this is pattern piece G. And so working my way through this cut list, I'm not going in order, unfortunately, but I'm going by rectangles now. So like these big slip pockets. So the ruler I'm using is 8 by 8.5. So I know that when I see this little 1/2 inch section to rotate the ruler when I want 8 inches wide, and then 7 and some change. And then I really try to control my rotary cutter as much as possible so that I don't overcut into the fabric. Sometimes it's unavoidable. These are my slip pocket pieces. And I cut 2 of those. This is E. All right, now we're on to this complicated lady. Well, I mean, it's not necessarily a complicated piece, but it's a little more complicated to cut. And this is what Barbie says she uses her scan and cut for. Which, yeah, makes a lot of sense to me. So I'm just using a little scrap of this fabric. This would be really fun. I'm sure we all have scraps of fabric. It'd be fun to do like scrappy card slots or something. This is also a really good shape to reduce bulk. If you have a domestic machine, you'll be able to make those card slots no problem. So I can just go ahead and trace out a few more of these and then cut the piece. And I'm kind of laying them inside of each other for minimal waste. Okay. So that'll be 3 of those pieces. And then instead of trying to cut every line, you can make each line just 1 stroke of your scissors and then pivot your scissors and cut again. So cut, stop, move scissors, rotate, pivot. And that might seem like a silly thing to explain, but some people really just like, they get lost when they're cutting out fabric and they're like, wait, what? So just to explain it as simple as possible. So those 3 pieces I'm going to clip together so that I know when Barbie tells me what to sew, it's that piece. Okay. And now we're on to the last piece, and that's it. It took us 30 minutes to cut out. Well, it took me 30 minutes to cut out. I don't know where you're at. Better hurry up, because I'm going to be done. And then what are you going to be doing? Still doing it, huh? I'm kidding, I'm sorry. And as I'm tracing, I'm making sure to keep my pattern piece in hand. Nope. Under my hand, held in place as I trace. If I didn't have such a weird cut of fabric, I don't think I would be as awkward cutting all this out. I used to buy massive bolts of fabric to cut out my bags, but lately I just haven't had time for production, sewing, cutting, interfacing, all that. So when I finally have like a big old chunk of fabric, I'm like, wait, what do I do with this? I don't even know. So if you have fabric to spare, you can also kind of like rough cut it with a rotary cutter. And I would think the only edge that really needs to be, well, not even then. I was gonna say the only edge that really needs to be perfect is the top edge, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna be folding that down and top stitching. So if it's not perfectly cut, it's not a big deal. Just sew it better than you cut it. This is still only 2. I have 1 more. I was just thinking it would be so cute to upload this video tonight, but I don't want to. Like, cause then if you want to make it with us tomorrow, you'd have time to cut it out, but who's gonna do that? Many years ago, I would have done that. Okay, we did it. Oh, 31 minutes. All right, thank you so much for spending a little bit of your day with me to cut out this wallet. I can't wait to see if you make one. I can't wait to see this one when I make it. And I will fold that fabric later. Bye.